and I think that's where we start.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah. Uh, Big business special edition of AEW last Wednesday. In the TD Garden, home of the Boston Celtics, home of the Boston Bruins. Tons of banners everywhere, and a multiple-time Women's World Champion shows up. It was Mercedes Mone, and she is officially all elite, as you can see in this clip, because I'm sure this part's gonna get clipped. And you see in my backdrop, Mercedes Mone is all elite. I put it up here because some people are in denial, some people are, coping, and I just want them to see it behind me while they're dealing with this. And if they're watching it, if you so hateful, you got to turn it off. I agree. I would say stop here because it's going to get worse. So, Rich, where do you want to go from here?
Well, about 10 minutes before the broadcast started, I started resending out all of the old clips of One Nation Radio where we covered her departure from WWE, the various reporting on that departure, her basically not coming back, basically like, yeah, she's going to Stardom, like she'll be at Wrestle Kingdom,
Yep.
all that stuff, and throughout all of this stuff, this is where it was always headed. And I think we kind of said that. I was like, we know. I think it was a video where I was like, it was the title was like Sasha Banks' WWE career may or may not be over. And in that video, I said something like, "Come on, man, we know where she's going. We don't have to fake." Like, this was June of 2022. This shit was an 18-month build, damn near. Like, I don't. Like this.
Yeah, it's interesting how much Cody and Mercedes have like generated, and CM Punk over the last 2-3 years have like generated to like these ongoing clips of following their journeys through pro wrestling in their careers, because it's like they're interesting characters at the top of the game, and like around them brings attention, eyes, and sometimes controversy. But with Mercedes,
there's a lot of intersections here. There's
her
fan base.
She pisses off totally different people than the people that like Cody pisses off at times, or that like people that are non-believers of Cody piss off. Same thing with CM Punk. Like it's the same thing, but like these like the demographics of these people wildly vary. And it's interesting to see how they all, get online and sling mud or deal with it. It's really interesting. Yeah.
Like with Mercedes, there's there's her fan base. There's your Gen Pop WWE fan. There's people that don't like her that were WWE fans that are upset with her. There are people that are happy to like that she's coming to AEW. There are there's a Joshi element of it now that kind of got mixed into this with her.
Yeah.
And she is someone that obviously like does not do a lot of talking, but somehow the talk finds her.
Yeah, that's always been interesting, hasn't it?
Yeah, like I think there may be like some like PWI insider or PW insider, connection with Mike Johnson there, but it's very well hidden. I think you got to pay a lot of attention to catch that. But this is where it was always headed. If people don't want to like understand why this is happening, I think they're being willfully ignorant on many fronts. Not only the disrespect in the booking throughout her entire run in WWE, but the disrespect at the bank financially, all the people she was being paid behind. And I'm not just talking the other 4 horsewomen. We're talking about just like people that came along after that, but we also saw more of, the whole deal with more horsewomen getting thrown out there, like, oh, she asked for more than Becky Lynch. Like, we got the second round of all the reporting essentially that confirmed her last time. We got the debut, so they want to throw it out there again to try to fight, the goodwill, saying, well, she was asking for, whatever Becky Lynch was asking for, and then it comes out.
Right. It wasn't from PW Insider, perhaps, this news that you're about to say. Yeah. Another in the long lines of stories, I'm assuming from Mike Johnson, but I'm just going to say for sure, definitely from PW Insider. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, well, who would this benefit? we got to ask this question again. Um, this
Right.
is this is with WWE saying, yo, we're not going to pay her more than X or whatever, and then you throw out your wrestler who has like a large fan base on their own. You radicalize your fan base to go fight that war in the Twitter streets or whatever, and comes
Right.
down to, oh, she's not worth whatever, da da da, and it's like, yo, I think the concept of worth is largely bullshit. Personally, I think it's
Yeah.
whatever somebody's willing to give you. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Like
like,
I mean, Rich, we've all been around friends in their romantic lives, and we see people we're saying, wow, they outkicked their coverage, or they, may have not done as what we thought. That's how the market works.
yeah, it's
Right. That's just how the market works.
and it comes out she was offered large sums on both sides, and she chose AEW, and she talked about her reasons for it, and I believe it was like Sports Illustrated, and I think this is just like with her, Okada, Osprey, like this is the big three or whatever that came in, that AEW won all of these pretty handily, like seemingly. Osprey in the last week did an interview with Jericho where he basically said WWE lowballed him, and there were people within WWE that was like, yeah, they were kind of surprised at Triple H's offer and stuff like that. And the Okada thing, he went through Barry Bloom also, so like we know where
Right.
the Barry guys go. But
Yeah.
as far
I mean, and then a part of this, when it comes to the last three big free agent signings that are coming back to American Pro Wrestling, or whatever, like you hear this conversation from people that are anti WWE or pro WWE, and they're saying like, well, AEW's overpaying for these people, and it's like,
let's get into it.
I, based on what, this isn't a sports league where there's a salary cap, and like you pay a premium on free agents, and potentially people that are you pay that potential premium for them, means it's harder for you to spend more money on your upcoming roster in the future. There are people coming out of their rookie deals. That's not how this works.
Also, WWE's not in the poorhouse. I don't know
Right.
who needs to hear this. Don't they make
And
enough
Netflix deal
money?
was how much again in the first 5 years?
I was gonna say, don't they make enough money from Saudi Arabia?
Well, that too.
Don't they make enough money from those TV deals? Don't they make enough
Right.
money? Oh, it's because TKO's in it now, and y'all gotta abide by those rules. That's
Right.
why you're upset with it. The
And
Peacock deal, that y'all can't touch none of that money. Apparently, come on, man.
So I didn't know that, but I was going to get to the part where it's like you mentioned in TKO, like people have reported that, like, as far as the financials, the talent makes about 10% of the pot, as opposed to any other sports league where they make close to or somewhere around 50, depending on the sports league. And same for WWE, they've always had a low amount of money percentage going to the actual talent. And Cody just came up. Drew McIntyre's up soon. People, there may have been, a declaration told to people that, hey, as far as like acquisitions, like we're not going above X, Y, and Z. We want to keep this thing where it is. We want to continue, making as much profit as possible and keep paying these people as little as possible. And we don't know that. But given how TKO has ran UFC, it's a possibility at the very least. So people do this whole thing about AEW overpaying, and it's like, I guess. But then you hear about Mercedes that, like, oh, she also got an 8-figure deal on her contract. So, at least in the sense of Mercedes, no, this was a
Just
competitive
lost.
offer.
This is just free
competitive
will.
offer. Right. So yeah, I'm
couple different comments coming in. Sue Williams said these dudes out here offering Stanford specials, which you don't make back in money, you'll make back in WrestleMania moments if you get booked.
Right. And the thing and the thing about like someone like Osprey and someone like Okada especially is like they've wrestled in buildings in front of over 20,000 people. I understand like the idea of wrestling in front of 60, 70 thousand people. Well, I don't know what it is based off the actual number or what the gate, whatever you want to do it, whatever. Like doing that in front of over 40,000 people. Once you've done it in over 20,000 people, how much of a difference is it for you? Like if Rock came out right in front of 20,000 people or in front of the WrestleMania crowd, he's still gonna goosebumps. And so it don't really matter. I've been doing that shit all random all week. I've been telling Rich like that shit is just funny as hell to me. He's like, yeah, every time that man come out, he's just titillated from the electricity. Have you seen Rock's new entrance?
Yes.
With the lightning? That shit's cool. Anyway, yeah, like after a certain amount of time, if you're someone like Mercedes, you've been there, done that, right? How does that really appeal to you? If you're someone like Okada that's main evented Wrestle Kingdom all those times, what does a WrestleMania night one in the fourth match gonna mean to you, right? Like
shit.
When Danielson left, when Daniel Bryan was leaving for AEW, and he had his last WrestleMania main event, a triple threat with Edge and Roman Reigns, and afterwards he had those quotes saying like, "I went out there
felt nothing.
I felt nothing. I had no surge of adrenaline, no nothing." And people were like, "Nah, he's playing around. He ends up going to AEW." It's like, because he's been there, done that.
That's like the old story about the Doors when they did the Ed Sullivan show.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, man, don't you sing this lyric because that you wouldn't it wouldn't be true. Baby girl, you couldn't get much higher. Couldn't sing that. Oh, they go out there, they sing the shit, and they say, hey, buddy, you'll never do the Ed Sullivan show again. Guess what? I already did the Ed Sullivan show.
Right. Morrison said that. Yeah, so like it's just
I just love how crazy she's driven everybody. How much she has turned people that swear to God that were like we got the bookmarks off. They swear to God that she would never appear in AEW. I had a hearty laugh at those people.
Yeah.
I thought about all the burials that WWE has done to her through the dirt sheets. I thought about,
By the way, since you mentioned burials, so like I don't know this. I could perhaps be wrong. I'm just asking this question honestly in good faith. When Naomi came back, has Michael Cole like apologized or addressed the part where he like aired both her and Sasha out, now Mercedes out, like when that thing, or is it just like come back and just do jobs and it's just humiliation rituals for you until we're done embarrassing you because now know your place in your back? I don't know.
I am not a regular WWE watcher to know if they went on television and looked in the camera. And Pat McAfee's back too, so he can go right back next to Michael Cole, and they could do it together if they wanted to. But I didn't see anybody clip that and send that out. So
it's also funny at that time, like Pat McAfee, you were rewatching. We watched it a few times at the time when it came out because it was like so like nasty. Just Pat McAfee was like, he's making the face. He's like, bro, he's making face of be like, either he's responding to, and he's also like, make face like, I want to make sure that the camera's on me and they run. I had nothing to do with this. So yeah, man.
But yeah, another great point, Brewhaven. WWE fans love the phrase "get the bag" until AEW started offering them. I think that wrestlers, like, this is why AEW exists. This is why WWE fought so hard to try to not let these guys get off the ground. Like, this is why NXT was put head to head. This is why they tried to like essentially stop them at every fucking angle when they were fucking counter programming Fight for the Fallen, where AEW's main goal was to collect email addresses and data, right? And then like up front say it was a charity show. What did WWE do? We're gonna start running shows we've never aired on the WWE network at the same exact time. Like, all this stuff lines up. They didn't want these people to exist for shit like this, because if they pretty much want to treat them like the Mac, they want to keep them broke. Give them some money, they're liable to go crazy.
Yeah. And like,
if anybody's keeping the wrestlers broke, WWE wants to be the one keeping the wrestlers broke.
Yeah. And now it ain't even just their idea. It's also people that owns them. There is also their idea too. Like everybody up top wants to pay them as little as possible. So yeah, Like, this is the thing that I think, this is why I'm glad AEW exists. Like, if it doesn't work out, you're burnt out creatively, you feel like you're stuck, you can leave. And if you want to, you can come back. Look at Cody. Cody left. He was stuck in, prelim comedy act thing forever. He left. He thought more for himself, and he was fucking right. And, we had John Moxley burnt out, felt like he was doing silly shit. He wanted to leave. He was proven right. So, I hope Mercedes proves once is proven right eventually too. And, the lifeblood of pro wrestling is new matchups, right? So
she came
over
in.
time, people going from AEW to WWE and back and forth. Like, I'm all for that. Like, that was one of the cool things about having the benefit of being old enough to see WCW and WWE or WWF at the same time. It was like people were able to go back and forth.
They had a great run of tickets leading up, to big business. I think they finished maybe above 9,000.
Wasn't it something along the lines of
what is it, above 9,000 or?
Oh yeah, the Dragon Ball Z stat.
I know my Dragon Ball Z. You know.
So I remember, I think the little lines of once she tweeted out Boston, with the boss and everything, tickets moved, she sold 1,000 tickets moved since that moment or whatever. So I don't know if you just say this is a great walk up, or do you include that in saying once she made it as obvious as motherfucker, I'm in the building, come tomorrow, tickets move. So yeah, she moved some tickets. That's a big deal because we talk about Becky Lynch and her percentage in the Observer Hall of Fame voting, whatever else, and me and you think if Becky don't get in, we're just never putting women in ever again. And Mercedes, that's to her credit. She was able to move 1,000 tickets in a day, or over 1,000 tickets. I think it's somewhere between 1,000 to 1,500, but whatever. That's to her credit, and we'll see where this goes because we know she has very, very passionate fans that will dox you if it comes down to it.
Socials on the timeline. That's right.
Right. And we talk kind of crazy, but the thing is, if you watch our stuff, we love Mercedes too, so they ain't never doxed us.
I'm an OG Mercedes fan, according to some of the folks that I was talking to. It was like, oh, you an OG? I was like, yeah. I was there in 2014 at Full Sail. I was watching number one contender match with Bayley versus Sasha Banks. I guess that puts me down with the Mercedes Mafia.
Hey, Rich, remember during the Iron Woman match? We was in there. We on camera.
Yeah.
And while they yelling Sasha Ratchet, we yelling back, y'all just racist.
Correct.
It was us. We've been on these front lines.
Fighting the real battles in person.
We have receipts.
In person.
Y'all pull it up.
Pull it up on the network.
Yeah.
Sasha's Ratchet. No, y'all just racist.
Yeah, do we ever tell people the story of how we got those tickets and what I had to do to get those tickets?
Probably a long time ago.
So, for those that don't know, Full Sail Central is, it's on I-4 next to Orlando. It's on the other side of Orlando from Tampa. And we live 20 minutes west of Tampa. So to get those tickets, I had to meet someone that had tickets to that takeover in Orlando. I drove from an hour and a half, 2 hours to Orlando and back the day before to then pick up Rich the next day and then drive back to Orlando to watch the show and come back home.
And not only
we real with this Bayley and Mercedes fandom.
Look, and not only did we do that, we had to wait outside before they let everybody in that sun.
Yeah.
And it was it was October, but it was still fucking hot. It was Florida. Y'all don't understand.
Yeah. I don't think people realize that we don't have a fall, we have a second summer.
Yeah. But I want to talk about obviously how she did. I thought this was one of the most heartfelt kind of promos from her that I think I've ever heard. She comes out to the CEO new music, CEO chants in the song. I love the chorus of the song. I like the beat. I heard it in the headphones. It sounds a little different than it does in the arena. I think it sounds way better in the arena, personally.
Okay.
And Mercedes is rapping on there.
I haven't listened to the lyrics. Is it up? Is it on AEW Music?
No, you can find it on Spotify.
Oh, okay.
You can find it on Spotify. Okay. I'll just say this. I like the chant. I like the chorus part. Like that all
Oh
goes. It
man.
was a smart, move to take that sample because that shit is unfuckwittable.
Yeah, it is. I saw
And
people like they taking the Walter stuff. I was like, nah, they doing Ludacris coming to America.
but
These bitches throwing rose petals at my feet, man.
yeah. I'm digging the presentation. The whole deal with CO stuff. The music feels like really big. She
Yep.
feels important. As I
Yep.
said, very heartfelt promo, and I was happy. I was happy to see her, and happy to see her smiling. And it was like she's back because like she's such an important person. I think in you know if you look at
The
it, she
last decade of American pro wrestling. Yes,
if you look at it,
absolutely.
she's kind of she was in working New Japan and in Stardom and stuff like that, but essentially from the American wrestling television, she's been out of commission for like 2 years,
Yep.
and now she has all new opponents. She has all new like kind of position that she's like positioned as. Like this is her. This is her chance to be like, all right, I am a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes because like if she can and it's kind of we don't know this. Like we think they got their shit together because Mercedes was coming in. But if this thing is actually just like, once we get her more in more matches and we get past like the Julia Hart, Sky Blue stuff or whatever else, and there's Willow and Sky and Jamie Hayter comes back and Thunder Rosa's, being showcased more on TV and Deeb and Sheeta and so on and so forth. And like we actually really have something. Like, we really have something. And that's and that would be, in theory and credit to her. Like I'm gonna do the whole thing where like, it's like Jericho invented X, Y, and Z, but it definitely goes a long way towards her candidacy. And I think a lot of things that has hurt her over the years is like the injuries have stopped and started her. Her burnout factor with WWE has hurt her. And if she can just stack up like 3 solid years, something like that, compared to what her average work is, you have to look back and be like,
Well, while doing
yeah,
business, like if you add that in, and then like
yeah,
you add in like, all right, this what has been perceived as like this major black hole on this promotion, right? If
right,
she comes in and fills that in, right?
right,
How do you not have an influence argument there? Like,
right,
um,
right.
I as she stands right now, I still think she has more work to do, but like there's a chance to do it. So I'm happy to see her, get a chance to do her thing. And this whole event was built around her, and it felt like it.
Yeah. And like it was cool seeing the crowd take to her, and also was interesting to see like how people reacted online to her. Was like, I don't, I talked about this a while back about Sasha and WWE, like the fandom, the super fans when it comes to our hardcore fans when it comes to that is like it's almost like the Laker Kobe thing. Like there are hardcore Laker fans, but there are also people that were just Kobe fans, and like they don't, and like they are Kobe fans first and Laker fans second, and like to see the people like doing the whole thing where it's like they turned on Dynamite, and then the second like she was off air, they cut off until they
Oh,
go,
that
and then
was
they cut,
corny.
and then they cut back because they knew she was come back out. I was like, you're right, it is corny because like, oh, this is your personality.
Because it was
Like you're showing this is your
performative. It
personality.
was like you didn't have
Yeah,
to show us that. You could have just
right,
did
right,
that in
right,
the comfort of your own home.
right,
You could
right.
have turned off the Mercedes segment, fix yourself something to eat, put your kid to bed, took the trash out, whatever. Came back, watched it, tweeted about it, whatever. But motherfuckers want to be corny,
They wanted to be
performative.
like they want to be like, no, 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 no. Don't get me wrong. Like she remarried, but AEW is stepdad, and I hate that nigga. That's exactly what that was. That's exactly what that was. Like once you came on screen, like, and they show because I saw the clip, like they wanted to show a replay of Swerve giving the house call to one of the dudes in Undisputed Kingdom, and like all I saw was that one kick, and like all I saw when they clicked that shit, I was like, that's basically her praising this shit. I was like, that's basically her saying, "Nigga, you ain't my daddy." It was funny to me, and like the way the coat that's going on, the
Yes.
alliances, the allegiances,
It's getting
it's
nasty.
all gonna be weird, and it's like, all right, we don't see where the allegiance is when it comes time for her first match on pay per view because Look, I don't give a damn
All that
how
money
much.
spent the same, don't it?
No. I was like, I don't give a damn how much you like Mercedes or not. You dropping that 50, you may as well stay around and you may as well pull up a fucking chair and watch the rest of the show until she comes on.
I'm sorry, they don't divide that up. You know, like
right.
They're like, actually, can I only pay 18 for for Mercedes' match?
What was the movie that Chris Rock was in when he was playing someone broke that was like trying to get a rib sandwich? He went to a rib shack and they was like, how much a rib sandwich cost? He was like $8. He was like, how much for one rib? that's what these motherfuckers do. When they talk about, can I get like the 10? How much can I get this Mercedes match for 10?
Oh,
like, no.
God.
You spend this whole 50 with your broke ass. With your cheap ass.
Sit your ass down. You know. Watch a damn show. You know.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad that she's, back on someone's television wrestling. And I'm glad she's healthy and everything. Last time she saw her, she was injured with the New Japan Strong match with Willow. So glad that's all cleared up. And like I said before, like, shout out to Tony Khan, really relieved for Tony Khan. We said that may have all the egg on his face for showing her left and right and front and center, up and down and side to side, everywhere in Wembley Stadium in the press box. He can finally be relieved that he got pen to paper. Because bro, that would have been super nasty if she had used that man for promo to come back to WWE. In fact, if I was WWE, if I was in if Vince is still around, Vince would have been like, yes, I'll pay you an extra $1 million more just because he did that.
Like, not to go.
Right. Because look, that money ain't nothing to Vince. You know what Vince spent money on.
Exactly. Y'all know. Y'all know.
Yeah.
Y'all can check my tweets. But
yeah, that was you had him hot with that one.
Oh,
you
yeah. Man.
In that case, it was like, how dare you talk about daddy like that?
Yeah, man. But let's move it on.